At the University of Montana, when I got there, I decided I wanted to be in a fraternity. And one of my friends said, well, I think he should be the treasurer because he got an A in accounting. So I got to be the treasurer and accounting. And what happened is that I collected all the money from everybody for their rent and the food and phone calls and everything. And I paid all the bills. And for that, I got free board and room. When I joined the church, when I went back to Missoula to join the church, because they said, even though I'd been taught in Yellowstone about the church, they said, you need to go to Missoula and be baptized where you're going to be living. And I had a tough time getting in to be baptized, it seemed like. In fact, the day I was baptized, the guy who was going to baptize me never showed up. And the bishop baptized me. He went and got white clothes and baptized me. And Renee was the only witness to the baptism. So I had a lot of flack from members of my fraternity because we were party boys. There was no doubt about it. I'd done it. I didn't do anything. I never took drugs, but I did drink and I smoked and everything that had to do against the word of wisdom I'd done. And so I took a lot of flack from members of the fraternity about that. But one of the biggest antagonizers was a guy named Sandy, and he would just always talk to me about it. I remember one night he and his friends came home and I was in bed and they poured beer on me. Told me that since I wouldn't drink with them, they'd come and drink with me. And I was in this bed with an electric blanket on and they poured beer on me. But time went on and by that time I was president of the fraternity. You had a special ceremony at the end of when our pledges went active, and you would take your little brother, they called him, up and you would toast him with a glass of wine. And you'd stand in front of all this group and you'd hand him a glass of wine, and you'd take a glass of wine and you'd toast him. And you'd all sing a song to him, and his name was Ken. And here's to you, brother Ken, here's to you. We'll take you by the hand, we'll treat you like a man. Here's to you, brother Ken, here's to you. And then you'd touch glasses and both sip the wine. Well, I realized that I was going to have to do that. And I thought, what'll I do? Well, my first thought was I could fake it, just go up and act like I took a drink and not. And then I thought, no, that's not going to work. So I finally just decided I'm going to take water up. So I took the glass of wine and a glass of water up, and I handed him the wine and me the water. And I toasted Ken, and then we sat down. Later on, another friend of mine said, you don't know what happened, but Sandy was sitting next to a guy from Utah State who was a member of the church. And he said, what's wrong with that guy? Why didn't he drink the wine? And he said, well, he's a Mormon. And he said, well, I'm a Mormon too. And he took a big gulp of his wine. And Sandy looked at him and says, well, he's a damn better Mormon than you are. And that was the guy who'd caused all this trouble for me during the school year. And so that was a point of time that I had to defend the church all the time. And I think, for my posterity, you've got to live what you believe. You've got to stay on the covenant path. You've got to let people know what you stand for, and never let up, never let up. And that was what I learned with that. What I went through, I felt it made me stronger because I had to defend the church all the time. You can be that kind of example to whoever you're in contact with, at school, wherever you are, as long as you live up to the standards that the church teaches. Well, I think the most important thing in life is family. Your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and I, every day, just say, how could we be so blessed? To have 10 children, 60 grandchildren, 29 and growing great-grandchildren, and to be able to know and love them all. We've been asked, how do you remember the names of them all? Well, we pray for you every day. By name, we pray for you. We just want you to know that you're the most important thing in our life, and you'll be the most important thing in our eternal life. And we had no idea when we got married what this was going to turn out to be, but we're so grateful for it, and so grateful for you and for what you represent. And we're so proud of you, proud of every one of you, and hope that you'll always do what's right.